How y'all doing? Tony, thanks, Mr. Campbell. Some of y'all may know me, some of y'all may not. How many of you guys in the Dream Builder program? All right, some of y'all might know me. I'm Mr. Ward. I started the Dream Builders University program, so I guess that would make me the CEO. And I want to thank you guys for coming, man, all right? So everybody repeat after me. Y'all ready? Just say it's possible. Oh, that's kind of weak. Let me hear y'all say it again. Say it's possible.
It's possible.
Okay, so what I'm about to explain to you guys, I'm going to share a little bit of my story. I'm going to talk to you guys about 3 points and then share a short story with you, and then we will be done. What Mr. Campbell did say is true. I grew up right here in Cincinnati in Millville. I grew up down there. I finished Aiken High School with a 1.9 GPA. I was a teenage father, had 3 kids before I was 22. Today I got 4 degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, 1 associate's and a master's degree. I've authored 3 books, and I'll finish 3 more books in the next 6 months. Okay? And I grew up right here in Cincinnati. This news crew, Miss Heather, that lady's actually right there. I forgot your name. What's your name? What's your name? What's her name? Heather? That's Miss Sue. She's actually, they are filming me. Somebody from your city, somebody you all know, will actually be on the 60 Minutes in South Korea. That's a big deal, okay? So you guys get to share that experience with me. Yesterday I spoke at a school and I got to talk to some kids about being in the 1%. And it was pretty cool because when I got my master's degree, one of my buddies called me and said, "Welcome to the 1%. Being an African-American male with a master's degree, you're in the 1%. The first thing I want to talk to y'all about is about vision. Anybody here got a vision? What's your vision?
Become a lawyer.
She wants to become a lawyer. Anybody else? What's your vision? You want to be a producer, right? Okay, so let me share with Tony, Mr. B. I want to share with you guys the power of building your vision. When I was growing up, when I was in high school, I didn't know how I was going to pay for college. All I knew, I didn't have a good grade, so all I knew is I could play ball. And so what happened was, my vision was today, I envisioned myself being an entrepreneurial, being somebody who helped the community, and being somebody who was working in the ministry some way, shape, or form. And so I held on to that vision. No matter what obstacles came my way, I continued to build it. No matter how difficult school was for me, I continued to work and justify the pain of the process and never giving up. And my vision, the life I live today, a lot of people can't say this because a lot of people check down. Anybody know what check down means? Who play football? Anybody football players in here? Check down mean what? Change the play, right? Go do something else. Yeah, I refuse to change the play. No matter how long or difficult it was for me, I refused to change the play. And so my vision was I wanted to be a great father. My vision was I wanted to be, I don't know my real dad. I wanted to be better than my dad. I wanted to be able to help my parents. I wanted to be able to help my community. And I wanted to be able to go around the world and help other people. Right now, today, I'm able to do that, right? And it didn't come easy. But that building that vision part, it's not like a lot of people, we try to say, oh, I got a vision, or I got a dream, but what do your disciplines say about that? If your discipline don't line up with your dream, who you lying to? Yourself. So if you tell me I want to be a basketball player, but you don't shoot 1,000 a day, a guy like me gonna laugh at you like you ain't paying the price, right? If you tell me I want to be an attorney, but I don't read a lot, because attorneys have to be, basically they're researchers, then I'm going to say, well, who you lying to? And so the power of that vision, it justifies the pain of the process. Everybody say the pain of the process.
Pain of the process.
Let's say it a little louder, say the pain of the process.
Pain of the process.
Now listen, any of you guys, every time you get to a position where people require more, they say you need to change, that hurt, doesn't it? That means, because what does that require? You got to give something up, don't you? Something you really like. And so what I've learned to do over the years is I've just learned to keep giving stuff up. And it felt like at the time when I was younger, when I gave it all up, when I gave up the partying and the hanging with my homies, it felt like I was going to die. It felt like I wasn't having any fun. It felt like that I was the biggest lame on planet Earth. But then guess what happened now? I stayed at it long enough. I stayed at it long enough. I stayed at it long enough. Then three of those college degrees, I don't have any bills for. That means I went on scholarship for my first 3 degrees. Right? No bill. But we're talking about the power of vision. It was difficult when I finished high school with a 1.9 GPA. When I get to college and you take your, you take your entrance test when you get there, and to find out that you're in college but you still do reading and math on a 9th grade level. I could have gave up, but what did I do? I kept going. So the pain of the process wasn't everybody else. The pain of the process wasn't my principal who on my neck. The pain of the process, it just wasn't my mom getting on my nerves trying to get me to do my homework and quit playing Xbox. The pain of the process wasn't my coaches who were driving me up a wall trying to tell me to play harder and I was soft. The pain of the process wasn't any of that. The pain of the process was me. The process. Did I want to change? Did I want to grow? All these people there around us, these adults telling you guys what to do, telling you what to stay away from, how to win, don't hang out with this group of kids, don't hang out with that person. Some of y'all parents telling y'all that right now, and y'all don't want to listen. If you don't listen, it's no way you can be me. Eventually, I had to listen. The next thing I want to talk to you all about is I want to talk to you about passion. Steve Jobs said it this way. Anybody know who Steve Jobs is? Okay. Steve Jobs founded Apple. He said something to this effect. Steve Jobs said, make sure you do something you really, really love. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. He said, because life's too hard, it's too hard to do anything else. Right? And so for me personally, what I did is I make sure now that I do nothing that I don't really, really love. I was passionate about basketball. Basketball was a vehicle. Basketball would wake me up in the morning and put me to sleep at night. Basketball was the tool, the vehicle that I used because my parents couldn't afford to get me to college. How many of y'all parents can't afford to get y'all to college? If you don't get a scholarship, you won't be able to go to college. You raise your hand if you're in that situation. Yeah. And so what I learned is that my passion for the sport was going to fuel me to get to the next level. So I used basketball. Then my passion from basketball, my passion was I wanted to play pro basketball. So I kept working at it. So that means that in junior college, I had to take 18 credit hours in college. That's crazy. That means I had to work out at 6 a.m., get done at 7, get to the cafeteria by 7:30, eat before 7:45, and get to class by 8, go to class from 8 to 2, get to study hall from 2 to 3, get to practice from 3:30 to 6:30, cafeteria closed at 7, go home, do my homework, start all over the next day. We're talking about passion. Now that was college. My senior year in high school, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I lived on my own my senior year in high school. I transferred schools. I went to Taft for 1 year, then I went back to Aiken for my senior year. So I went to Aiken my freshman and sophomore year, then I went to Taft for my junior year, and then I went back to Aiken for my senior year. And let me tell you what happened. In order for me to be eligible, I had to live on my own. That means I had to get a job. So my senior year in high school, like you ain't know this one, Campbell, Aiken starts early in the morning compared to some schools. So I went to school. We started at what, 7:15 we started. We got out of school at about 2 o'clock. Once I got out of school, I had to go to practice. Once I got out of practice, I worked at Frisch's. Till midnight. Guess when I did my homework? On my lunch breaks. So the Frisch's on North Bend Road, I was the dishwasher when they built that store. I was the dishwasher when it was brand new. But the only reason why my vision would carry me, ignite the passion, as I really believed that my dream was possible. I always wanted to be able to help my parents. I really believed it. The next thing I want to talk to you all about is I really want to talk to you about is character. Without good character, nobody will ever trust you. No matter how talented I am, no matter how intelligent I am, no matter what my GPA is, no matter how cute I am, no matter how handsome I am, no matter how well I dress, if nobody can trust you, you can't get ahead. Yeah, you can't get ahead. Nobody will ever trust you. And so what I had to do is I had to learn how to develop my character. I had to learn how to become a person. I had to learn how to become a person who was somebody that people can depend on. Any who want to be somebody so people can depend on? Raise your hand. Okay. So if nobody can depend on you, then who's going to hire you? If nobody can depend on you, what college will give you a scholarship to play sports? None of them. So you have to have the right habits if you want to be dependable. Character is the number one. It is the most important thing. When I wrote my first book, I said, what are 5 things that I want to put in the book for kids, for teenagers? First one was vision. The second one was passion. We have character. We have discipline, and you versus you. But character is the anchor. Character isn't popular today. In our culture, we use words just to lie in a lot of cases. I'll give you an example. One African man, he was in America and he hired an attorney, and the attorney said, I'm going to make it where you don't get deported. They go for his hearing. The attorney told him he can make it happen, right? They had the attorney stand there as the judge says, you're being deported. The man turns over, the lawyer turns over to the gentleman, and the gentleman says, what do you mean I'm being deported? He says, what word is that? The lawyer had to say, I can't do what I said I can do. He said, well, in my country, we don't have a word for that. So that guy had to figure out how his word versus how we do things here in America is 2 different things. So if you can't be trusted, nobody will ever honor you. When I got to junior college, and I'm going to close with this. When I got to junior college, one of the craziest things happened to me that ever happened to me. When I got there, my coach was nuts. This guy, they said, you got to make a 5-minute mile. That means you got to run a mile in 5 minutes. And so I thought it was one of them things like they meant, like you just got to do your best and then it's okay. So they took us to the track. We the basketball team. This changed my life, man. This one I figured out, hear me, that nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody. Nobody cares about your excuses. This cat, he put the whole team on the line, on the track, even the 7-footers. And I didn't make the 5-minute mile. I made it in like 5:20. On his team, you got to run. If you don't make it the first time, you got to run it every day, 5 days a week until you make it. The whole first semester, 2 guys ran it. I made it in a month. I thought it was a game. I didn't think like people could lose a scholarship because they can't, a basketball scholarship because they can't make a 5-minute mile. Like these are guys I ate with. We slept in the same dorm rooms. We kicked it. And these guys were in the same situation as one dude was from South Central, the other guy was from Canada, and they needed their scholarship. They had no chance. Like, dude was going back to the hood if he didn't get a chance. Like, you got to get that. Like, he lost everything over a 5-minute mile. And so these guys, they got to practice, they never got to play. And Christmas break came. This changed my life. They put them back on the plane. And my coach pulled the rest of us in on the last day of practice. And he told me something that I've never forgot. He said, if you can't make a 5-minute mile and you can't give me everything you got for 5 minutes, you'll never give me everything you got for 40. And so what I want to say, man, is it's cool, right? You guys can have all the swag on the planet. You can have all that. I promise you, nobody owes you a job. Nobody owes you a college education. Nobody owes you a degree. If you don't pay the price, if you don't make the time, if you don't make the grade, if you're not willing to do whatever's necessary within the confines of Winton Woods High School and within the confines of your life and what you guys do at home and what you do in your free time, I promise you that life won't work for you. Many of people have tested what I'm saying. Many of people have tested it. I promise you what I'm telling you is 100% true. The universe works exactly like this, and nobody cares why you came up short. Nobody cares. Not at all. So as we get ready here, I'm going to take some questions. I hope you guys can sense the sincerity and the passion in my voice. This stuff is not a good guy sport. This is not for the faint at heart. In the world we live in today, if you're not sure about your vision, if you're not sure and understand that you need to be passionate about what you want to do, and if you don't have the character, and if you're not a trustworthy person, nothing's going to move for you. And this is what happens next. The people who want what people like me have, they don't want to work for it, they try to come take ours. That's what happens. You're just lazy. So you just get mad and you just watch me, and then you be like, man, I deserve what he have. No, you didn't pay the price. You ain't shoot 1,000 a day, so you can't get the McDonald's All-American certificate and hang it on your wall. You didn't shoot 1,000 a day. You didn't work out for 4 to 6 hours in the summertime. You can't get it. The door's closed. The door's closed. And you guys, like my kids, they kind of, acting like some of y'all. My partner, he took me, I had to go to Sandusky a couple months ago and do a keynote. And, you guys just, I'm just Lamarque. Some of y'all know me. Malcolm used to hoop with me at the rec center up the street. I used to go up there and make it rain on him a little bit. He know the drill. But you guys don't know what you're a part of today, man. This is a big deal. This is really a big deal for y'all. How many of y'all will love like to just be able to interact with highly successful African American men on a regular basis? Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not running from nobody, am I? I mix and mingle with, I go to church right in the hood in Millville. I ain't running. Yeah, because I love people. All right, anybody got any questions? Go ahead. I remember you.
Back when in high school, who do you think was probably the biggest role model in your life?
A guy named Eric Thomas. Coach T. He was my high school coach, and he changed my life, man. That guy, he had no emotional connection to how poor we were when we were growing up. We all were poor. And he just didn't care. He expected us to do what we needed to do in the class, stay out of trouble, and play hard on the basketball court. And because of that, today, almost a lot of us got degrees. He's in the Hall of Fame, if y'all didn't know that, at Wilmington College for football. He played pro in Brazil in football. We have guys, the coach at Woodward, Genario played at Louisville. We had about 4 McDonald's All-Americans on that team that year. And I found out from some other coaches, they think we had the best team Cincinnati history that year. I've just heard this conversation. They said, we think y'all had the best team anybody's ever had in Cincinnati. And so that changed my life. Nobody accepted my garbage habits when I was a young man. Okay? Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but I would just say to you guys, if you've ever heard the comment, it's not what you know, but who you know, this is an opportunity. You guys are meeting someone, not only Mr. Ward, but also Mr. Broadnax. When you can meet people who know people, and I'll just tell you, because I was just impressed last year when I went to the symposium at the end of the year for Dream Builders on, tell me his name, that owns the ballpark.
Yeah, Mr. Arrington.
Yeah, Mr. Prasco, where Prasco, he owns this fabulous facility. He's got connections with him. So, once again, this is an opportunity for you guys to meet someone who knows people. So, please take advantage of this, especially you guys who are in Dream Builders. Don't only just, take the words in, ask questions, say, hey, you know what? This is my dream. Who can I talk to?
Yeah.
This is my dream. Can you hook me up with somebody in the summer who I can maybe work with or volunteer with? These are opportunities that you have a great opportunity right here.
Right.
Let's take advantage of it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What inspired you to make Dream Builders?
So I used to work at Job Corps back in the years ago when I used to teach. I was the manager and then I became the trainer. And I've always wanted to make a larger impact on humanity. And so I went there and I got the folder in my office. I don't carry it with me, but if anybody ever come to my office, I can show you. I was taking notes at the conference on the speaker, and I just dreamed up Dream Builders right there at the conference. It was in 2009, September 2009. And I wrote down Dream Builders. I wrote down my business plan on the notes of the hotel. They turning yellow now because I had them so long, but I wrote them right there in the conference. But let me tell you how powerful that is. Who you associate with can inspire you to do something great. So the fact that I went to that conference, I was there with hundreds of people with these big time speakers because I was around great people. The energy is awesome. And then it inspired me to make what we have today at Dream Builders. Now at Dream Builders, we got Dream Builders. We influence thousands of kids a year. I fly around the country. We do a conference at Prasco. We do it for free. We pay for it. We don't make no school pay for it. T-shirts, everything is taken care of. Because I believe that it's my job to give back to the community. Yes. All right? Go ahead.
You ever met Eric Thomas?
I haven't, but I like E.T. He's one of my mentors, man. I listen to him online, and he's a little older than me. He got his PhD, too. But I like E.T. He the real deal. Yeah. Go ahead.
And he like that speaker on YouTube.
He is the speaker on YouTube.
Motivational speeches.
Yeah. Yeah, he is cold. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Anybody else? Go ahead, Mr. B.
What would you say as a male, some of the challenges you faced at this age that you had to overcome?
Man, listen, I mean, I would get you, if I could say anything, be passionate about your dreams. Like, a lot of times, man, we fight for the wrong stuff. Imagine this. Your teachers tell you to do something, you might not like it, you fight against the teacher. Your parents tell you do this or don't do that, you fight against your parents just to do basic stuff. Clean your room, wash the dishes, right? Y'all fighting for the wrong stuff, right? I would tell you to learn how to fight for your future. Well, what do you mean by that, Mr. Ward? Learn how to fight. Fight to say no against the wrong crowd, right? Fight to say no against them, not your parents and your teachers, right? That's the fight you need to be in. Fight to stay drug-free and alcohol-free. That's the fight you need to be in, right? Fight, if you can stay away from being promiscuity, stay away from that, right? If you can fight. That's something you want to fight. If you want to fight? Fight to say no to that Xbox and kicking it with your homies and do your homework and read books on extra stuff. That's what I would fight for. I had to learn late how to fight for that stuff. And it cost me something. You know, like I told you guys, when I was younger, hey, Mr. Martin, when I was younger, before I was 22, I had already had 3 children. I ain't tell y'all in high school I was working at Frisch's. It wasn't because I really wanted to. I had to be eligible to pay my rent. But I was paying child support my senior year. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, nobody really cares about your excuses. The only thing they care about is can you make it happen? Go ahead.
You say fight for that stuff like it's easy. It's not easy to fight for that stuff.
All right, so is it easier to fight to do stuff you shouldn't do? I think we just trained to think that way. What I believe is everybody's truly a success.
No, it's like when you grow up, like the way you grow up, you used to that type of stuff.
Okay. We do have a psychological patterns. They like a record, and you get a groove. I know y'all probably don't know what records are, but we know what records are, right? And so once a record get a groove, it's hard. Like you got to make a new pathway. I do get the whole neural pathway to get the subconscious in another direction. But let me tell you something. You override that with your passion.
But you need help. You gotta have somebody push you.
Okay, man, that's even better. You play sports? Okay. You don't have your coaches in your ear? All right. Are your parents in your ear? Are your teachers in your ear? Okay, so that's a half and a half and a whole, right? So that's 2. Some people got 0. All right, she had a question.
What are your degrees?
So my first degree, when I went to junior college, I got an Associate of Arts. And then when I went to Fairleigh Dickinson, I finished school and then I went overseas. And so when I got back from overseas, I called them back and I said, well, you know, what do I need to finish up my degree? And they said, well, you got enough credits to get a Bachelor of Arts right now. I said, well, send it in the mail, baby. Right, and then I went back to school. And but what I was focusing on at the time was sociology and criminal justice. And then I went back to school again to get my second bachelor's in Christian ministries. I lead an inner city ministry in Cincinnati. Last year, in Millville, where I grew up, we served over 8,000 meals last year. I'm proud of that. You want to talk about my accomplishment? That's something I'm proud of, okay? We served over 8,000 meals to the homeless last year. And then my master's degree, let me finish, and then my master's degree is in education. Now go ahead.
I did that one day.
No, we did it throughout the year. Yeah, we actually serve more than that because we serve a meal every Sunday for the community that we don't count. But that was just homeless interactions and things like that. All right, go ahead.
Talk about, now we talk about Stupidville, USA. Give them that example, please.
No, you give it to him. Go ahead.
You got it. Knock it out.
Like, I don't know if I remember this to the T, but like, you make enough bad choices, you'll end up in Stupidville, USA. And it's a place, man, where people, they just make a lot of excuses, right? You make a lot of excuses. I'm a black man, right? I could easily be like, oh man, it's somebody else's fault. Because I'm black, they don't want to open the door, nothing happens. And when you don't take, everybody say personal responsibility. Now we need to say that one loud and proud. Say personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility.
And so like in Stupidville, USA, it's just an excuse mecca. Nobody takes personal responsibility. Nobody say, you know what, I messed up, I'm gonna fix it. I'm sorry, right? We can fix it. And so what I've gotten the habit of doing is just keep showing up, taking personal responsibility, and trying, me personally, getting out of the habit of going to Stupidville, USA. And I think to this point, I've done a good job of staying up out of Stupidville, USA. All right, any other questions before we close out? Go ahead.
My uncle came up with this, like, it's not a slogan, but he used to always tell me this. He used to say, the majority's quality will always overpower the minority's quantity.
Okay. Yeah, the majority's quality will always overpower the minority's quantity.
Can you tell me what that means?
I'm trying to process it. Yeah.
Basically, the majority's like title, like police.
Yeah.
All right. Depending on what the police does, they may get off with it.
Depending on the majority, whatever they say, or the mob rules kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
But I would challenge y'all to be different. Like, I would challenge y'all to be in the 20%. If you going with the crowd, you on the wrong team. That's just the way it is. I've never went with the crowd. Like, I made bad choices, but I've never really been. Mr. Martin taught me. I never really ran with the crowd.
What if you don't run with the crowd, but you got family members that do, because you get involved?
Oh man, you know what? That's the best question of the day. So like I grew up in Millville, man, and some people here know my family, and when they see me with my family, some people are like, oh, you one of them wards, right? I'm gonna put it to you this way, man. I had to make a decision, and it wasn't easy. There were times where I was labeled lame, Uncle Tom, sellout, even from some of my family members. When I quit playing basketball at 28 years old when I was at my best, and I just knew, right, that the Creator really just spoke to me and said, I got a different plan for you. And I quit playing. And I had a cousin call me and say, man, how you gonna give up? We put too much into you. I'm like, he act like he shot 1,000 a day. And so what I had to do, man, is I had to take a path. I call it, I haven't written about it yet, it's called the pioneering principles. Teaching kids who shouldn't have been first generation kids to be first generation kids. And so I had to be first gen for my family. And there was a season where I had to basically be really selfish with my time, be selfish about who I hung with, and didn't give them any of my time. And I know that's not popular, especially in the African American culture, because you got to keep it real. But check this out. If I wouldn't have left and went away to college in Switzerland, and in New Jersey, in Texas, and then lived in Switzerland, Latvia, and in South America. Yeah, I lived in Switzerland. Yeah, I ain't told y'all my address in German. It's Rheinacherstrasse 8. And so but listen, if I didn't leave, just imagine this. So, if nobody leaves the hood, who helps? If nobody leaves, if nobody is the first one to do it, who can help? And so I had to resist the urge to stay cool for a season, resist the urge to hang with my cousins. I had to resist the urge so I could go away. Now I could come back. Now I could be a blessing to my family. Yeah, it's so cool. And that's cool. That's cool. Go ahead.
But it's still different though, because say you walk somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know you somebody, you relate to that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that person did something to that person, and they try to take that on you.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. 3 years ago, my little cousin Moody got murdered in Avondale. It happens all the time. I'll tell you what happened though. The best thing I did was go away. So I went away, and I ain't going to hang in Avondale with my family members on the block. I ain't doing that. That's just not good for my health, right? That's not good for my health. So, so what I do is, like I told y'all before, I'm not hiding from anybody, right? So if they really want help, if my cousin or family members really want help, what can they do? They can come holler at me. If they don't come holler at me, I ain't finna go in the hood and go on the block and try to put them in the headlock and try to say, no, you coming with me. That don't work too well. Okay? All right.
I had an incident. Somebody came up to me and punched me because some of my brothers did.
Yeah.
We got an altercation. And I had beat him up. And I got accused for it.
Right.
Went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
But they let me out on the career. They find out what happened.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you might have to change some places you hang, all of that. I had to do it all, man. All right? Yes, ma'am.
I found out even at my age,
Uh-huh.
we won't disclose that information.
45.
Security's gonna have to come get me. I know. Even at my age, I had to separate myself. I've gotten a little busier because we're trying to we're tired of working for people.
Right.
We're, getting to the point to where we're like, the people that we're working for, they're not appreciating what we're doing as far as working. So we decided to branch off on our own and try to start our own business.
Okay.
So basically, y'all need to, don't worry about being popular.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if you ain't gonna accomplish, just like he said, you're not gonna accomplish anything if you worry about what the next person thinks. And the only way you're gonna be able to do that is if you focus on basically tunnel vision.
Have to
Just
be.
looking straight ahead at what you need to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing it late, but it ain't never too late. So I just wanted to tell y'all that.
Repeat after me, y'all. Say cool and broke.
Cool and broke.
Go hand in hand. It's that simple. You can be cool now. Enjoy it. Yeah. Enjoy it. Cool and broke go hand in hand.
Let me just say something real quick. Say I go for dismissal. Now, as he said, this was one of my students. Believe it or not, I know I look young, but Lamarcky was one of my students. One of the listen up. One of the reasons that we keep people like him in you guys' lives and the opportunities that they bring and the experiences that they bring is because in a lot of ways it's similar. When you guys see me and I'm in here in a shirt and tie, I'm the principal of the building, I got a pass. I come from downtown Cincinnati.
This is
The
true.
things I didn't like about my life, I changed them. I put myself in a situation to change my outcome. This is what we're talking about. You're going to get an opportunity to make 100 choices a day while you're in this school building. All we want you to do is make the right choice.
That's right.
That's it. This is a good man. The program that they brought to our school, we want you to get something out of it. That's all we're talking about right now. Choices, making
right.
great choices.
That's right.
All right? And I appreciate you guys listening to him.
That's right.
Because like I said, he wasn't one of them guys who I used to have to chase down, but on the same hand, he was faced with a lot of different choices that he could have made.
Right.
All right? Cool.
All right, man. Well, listen, you guys have a good rest of the afternoon. Won't y'all give y'all staff and administrators here a round of applause, y'all, please. All right. And I want to thank you guys for allowing us to share this moment with you all. That young lady back there, she's very famous, the reporter from South Korea. And we're able to share this message with the young people in South Korea and help them overcome some of their challenges because they have some of the same challenges you all have. That's why they're here. Okay? So God bless you all and y'all have a good day. All right, Mr. Campbell?